What's going on, everybody? We're here. We're live. We're back. New Poker Live podcast. My name's Joey Grimone, aka Chicago Joey. Joining me today in my unretirement from the podcast is a young man, one of my favorite people in the poker world, a man who has been world traveling pretty hard since he kind of came on the scene, and we streaming on Twitch for like a year and a half straight or something like that. Built up a big audience. Eventually started venturing out, got signed with 888 Poker, started traveling over the United Kingdom, doing a little bit of commentary, started dating a lovely young woman, and started traveling the world and getting a little bit out of line. And now he's back home trying to get back to the stream life, to the poker life. And I don't know, man, I'm just excited to talk to him, kind of catch up with him. And I'm excited to actually do a fucking podcast again. We got my man, Tonka, a.k.a. Parker, a.k.a. Parker Talbot, a.k.a. the man.
Parker Talbot.
I've never said your last name before until right now. Did you know that?
No, yeah. You know why? I only reason I correct that because it's funny because Doug says my name, like not all the time, but like whenever he says my name, he always goes, Parker Talbot, he's in the lab, says shit like that. And someone's like, Doug, you've never pronounced Parker's last name right in your life. So it's like Talbot. And Doug, it does not make a difference.
I mean, I know Doug's busy with the fucking crypto. I think Doug's retired out of poker, Tonka. It's like me and you left in poker. Me and you and Jimmy left in poker, kid. Doug's gone. He's retired.
Me, you and Jimmy. Dude, you know what I was doing fucking right before we got on call, before we started this up? Fucking watching a Doug Poll crypto video.
I know. They're pretty, like, I don't know what he's talking about half the time, but they're still fun to watch. I thought I learned some. Yeah. He works at, we've lost him, I think, by the way, though. Anyone out there that's a fan of poker, we've lost Doug Polk. He's not coming back to crypto. He's not coming back to poker. I think he realizes the audience in crypto is maybe 10 to 15 to 20 times bigger than it is in poker. People are actually nice there. People are winning money there still. So he's there forever, I think, Parker.
Dude, yeah, he's there. He's crushing. It's so fucking sick. Like, I counted this morning. I was like, man, he has 28 videos that he's uploaded, and he has 141,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yeah. I was like talking to my friends the other day. I was like, dude, Doug's just the smartest, isn't he? And I was like, yeah, I think so. Like,
I know. I was thinking about. I was walking around here, and Doug put something on Twitter yesterday too, which I'm kind of curious about your take on this, because Doug posted about how people in crypto are so much nicer to him in comments, and then people in poker, kind of are assholes to him in comments. And I think that's for a couple of reasons. One, people are winning money in crypto. So of course everyone's happy.
Nobody loses in crypto, right? Except for like stone normies that like see everything going up and buy at 20K and then sell at like 12 again. Like nobody loses in crypto.
I think those people are actually still there. I mean, I know a lot of people out there bought the Bitcoin at like 19,000, 18,000, and then they probably sold it at 10 or 11K. But I think they're still happy. Maybe they got into other things and stuff like that. So they're still like, they have hope.
They're still happy.
The hope is there.
Yeah. I mean, but that's definitely it, right? Like, poker players are like notoriously bitter because everyone's always getting bad beaten and fucking constantly whining about shit. And crypto, literally nobody loses yet.
Yeah. Not yet. Exactly. Not yet.
We haven't seen like 90% of the alts go to zero yet. When we see that, there'll be fucking some people whining.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. And I think from my standpoint, I'm curious about this for you too. Do you think about doing anything crypto related? Obviously you do a lot of content, you do a lot of live streams. Have you thought about maybe venturing into that world once you see someone like Doug have as much success as he's been having?
I'd love to, but like Doug casts a pretty big shadow, right? Like if you're gonna be like a poker player moving into the crypto space, like Doug already does it like better than like I'm ever going to do it. Two, I don't really know that much. I'm like mostly just like have a couple bags of things and I'm just like sitting on it, just waiting for the 100K Bitcoin milestone. But yeah, I'm not like I don't really know too much about it. I remember like my first crypto purchase was just like my friend was like, yeah, like crypto's probably like a decent time to buy right now. And it was like 1,200. He was like, we're going to get some news soon that's either going to like pump it pretty hard or like, nothing's really going to happen. So I was like, fuck it. Like I bought like 10K at like 1,200. And I was just like, okay. And like more or less since then, I've just like accumulated a little bit and that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we kind of lead off talking about crypto here because it has kind of taken over. I mean, maybe it's just taken over like the Twitter, social media world and maybe YouTube world a little bit, but it seems like right now it is a very slow time in poker, but though, the kind of conversations really died down, man. Before, a lot of people talked about people in poker, people talked about poker streams, poker shows, and now it's like all the conversations really about crypto. So it's kind of this.
All the conversations are about crypto, and it's fucked. Like, this is like kind of like, I want to say something else about it, but it's fucked how many Ripple tards there are. Like, everybody is into Ripple, and it's unbelievable. Like, we were, I ended up in an underground fucking Toronto cash game. But my like current roommate, he's a bar manager, and like he's like ex poker player, but like a bar manager, and like he dabbles in like some live games and stuff. And we were like out on like a Friday night one time or something, and like drinking, and like not much was happening, and it was like 1 a.m. and he's like, I'm gonna go play some poker, and I was like, what? He's like, I'm gonna go to this like 3-3 game that I go to. It's like 1K buy-in, like 3-3. He's like,
oh,
it's the greatest game ever. And I was like, okay, I'll come. And like half the conversation on the table in this fucking 3-3 underground cash game at like 1 a.m. till like 6 a.m. was just crypto this and crypto that. Like, it just dominated the conversation. It was fucked. This like old man, this like fucking 55-year-old man was going on about how like Ripple's the future and shit. And I was just like, oh God, someone save me.
That's crazy, man. I mean, yeah, like that's I've been finding. We were at the dinner at the Bellagio or at the Aria the other day. We asked the waiter what the waiter think about Bitcoin versus Ethereum. He's like, I don't know. I like Bitcoin. He's like, the coworkers like Ripple. No coincidence. I guess that I don't know why this is the case, but it is very strange. And obviously, when we're in poker, poker was like this maybe a tiny bit, years ago, but it's obviously nothing like this now. So I think as someone who's had success in poker like yourself and like myself, and maybe we get to the point now where we're like, well, when do we start thinking about maybe
moving on to
bigger outside of poker?
Things.
You know what I mean? Like at what point do we like say, okay, well, maybe we should focus more on this other area, whether it's content, whether it's study, whether it's...
I've had that thought like multiple times. I'm sure like you have, right? Like literally like right now, right? We're both like sort of trying to hop back into the game that was like our main game for the last few years, making some content and shit like that. I mean, I didn't take like a big break, but like in like social media, like content creation, streaming world, like streaming, 10 times in like a 3-month span is like, that's a pretty fucking big break, even though it's, and I mean, 3 months is a long time, but yeah, I mean, I've had that was like my whole entire thing why I started streaming. I was like done with poker, Like I was like, this isn't like, I did like they killed S&E, they killed Six Max Hypers, and I was just like, I don't want to fucking play tournaments, dude. Like, I don't want to lock myself in like a room for like 12 hours straight and like not have a choice about what to do. So like 2.5 years ago, I like tried to play tournaments a little bit, and I would play like a 2-hour session. Or I would reg for like an hour and a half, and I'd be like, fuck this, dude. Like, I'm not doing this. And like a good buddy of mine who's like just like in Canada had just quit poker because he didn't enjoy it anymore. He was just like out on the rip, just drinking all day, and like I just ended up with him like 5 days a week, just like in a pub, like playing pool. And then we just go out that night. And we did that like literally 5 nights a week for like a 5-6 month period when like I was going to quit poker. And then we just fired up the stream and started to play again and started to enjoy things and went from there. But yeah, I mean, I had like a similar, like I thought about like leaving the space this year before ultimately deciding to like ramp it back up. Like you said, man, like at what point do you decide to like move on and stuff,
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of noticed for you, you were grinding really, really hard. I think we might have talked about this in Vegas this summer. And then once you started traveling, you kind of signed with 888. Then you started traveling, doing some announcing. And it seemed like the stream, you were very consistent with that stream for a long time. And now it seems like you're finding it hard to get back in that rhythm. It's kind of like whether it
is hard, man.
Difficulties or just like that motivation. It seems like now it's a lot more sporadic with you. And sometimes people find it again. But for you, it seems like it's been pretty tough for you to find that consistency with doing
it's
streaming.
Also just like having thrust into shit that you didn't expect to do. Like, I mean, I told the stream, like the other day, I was like, the first year and a half of the stream was like so consistent, like the first like year was like 11 a.m. start time, stream for like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I was doing like 40 to 50 hours a week on stream, like every single week for like a year in a row or something like that, And for me, that's just not sustainable. Like some people can do it. But like long term, and like it was super fun at the time because I was like winning a ton, I was like growing, I was like taking over the listing, everything was fucking super, super, super fun. There's nothing exciting about that. It's like a really boring story, and I'm not banned. Like, but But yeah, it was like fun growing, you know? And it was the same thing as poker, you know? It was like when you're like climbing the stakes and like you're getting to the top. Like when I was getting to the top of 6 max, it was like so much fun, you know? I remember just like duking it out in like the 200 to 500s and then like shot taking the 1Ks. And then I remember like duking it out in like 300s to 1Ks and like shot taking 2Ks and 5Ks. And then I remember just like open sitting fucking everything and just like playing literally any game that ran and just being like, you know, this isn't as fun as it used to be. But like that's sort of what streaming.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it goes when I was thinking about that too, like why, you know, why doesn't something still maybe push me like that? And I think with poker it was never really about the money. It was always just kind of about moving up the ranks, right?
The next level, yeah. Like a video game, man, like getting to the final boss, like getting to the next level, you know, like working your way to the top. But yeah, like I sort of just I lost my point there, but my point was that I just sort of got like thrust into shit. Like I signed with 888. I got a Swedish girlfriend that lives in Sweden, so like all of a sudden, like I can't just like sit.
Yeah, damn, Parker. Fuck,
I know it's a really tough life, you know, sponsorship and a fucking awesome Swedish girlfriend. I know it's difficult, but I had like an 8-month period there, or like 6 to 8 month period where like I couldn't just sit in my room all day and stream, you know, like I couldn't just sit in this chair and stream all day because I had, you know, some 888 live events. I had, you know, other live events to go to that I wanted to go to with my friends that are like staples, like that I go to every single year. And then I had to go to, I didn't have to, but like I went to Sweden at the end of these for like a week. You know, she would come here. And when she's here, like I don't want to stream like 5 days a week while she's here for like 2 weeks, you know, like I don't want to spend 80% of my day and then be fucking burnt out after it. So it just ended up being like I didn't end up finding the time, and I didn't want to do it as much, you know, like I had like other exciting shit in my life going on as well. Like I didn't. Like at the beginning, you're just so focused on it, you know, like it's all, it encompasses like everything. And then like you start doing other shit and other stuff starts arising. And yeah, it just sort of gets like that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people in the chat are obviously, you know, they don't hear much of what you said except Swedish girlfriend. So we've heard a lot of we have a lot of stereotypes we think about when we think about having a Swedish girlfriend. And I think most of those ideas we have are very positive and sort of glamorous. So is it as glamorous as we all think it is to have a Swedish girlfriend?
I have a pretty typical Swedish girlfriend. Like she is, you know, pretty tall. She's my height. She's tall. That's tall for a girl. I think like 5'9". She has blonde hair, blue eyes. She's very classic Swedish. She likes all the Swedish things. But yeah, there's not the negatives are that she lives on the other side of the world, you know. These are the current negatives.
That's a negative. As someone who's as someone who's attempted the overseas girl grind on numerous occasions, it is quite the difficulty when an ocean is in between you and the person that you're with.
No, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, but we're working on it. We have some plans for her to move to Canada in a few months, so we'll see how that pans out. It should be good to go. She's got a visa.
Yeah,
she's getting shit in order.
I remember asking you if you're going to move to Sweden, if you've considered moving there.
It didn't really work with like our schedules. Like she works like in Sweden, she works from like 8 a.m. to like 4 p.m. every day. And I work, if I lived in Sweden, I would have to stream from at like earliest like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. until like, you know, like 11 p.m. So like she'd be getting home from work and I'd be starting streaming. So logistically, it just didn't make sense. You know, like I don't mind living on that schedule too much, but like we'd basically be living together, but never seeing each other.
Wait, how'd you meet the Swedish girlfriend? I think you said you met her through Twitter. I actually don't. I don't know if you want to say, or if it's some secret way or anything like that.
Nah, it's not a big secret. We like got talking through Snapchat actually.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah.
How?
Just like, you know, she saw the stream, and we got chatting, and we chatted for like 3 months.
Right now. Wait, no, I don't know. I don't know what you mean. Can you tell me what you mean here?
We kept that pretty quiet, you know, for like a long time, whatever. But yeah, we got talking through like Snapchat, and we talked for like 3 months or something like that. And then I just like took 3 days at the end of a live trip and came and visited her. And yeah. No looking back after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask this off the stream. I feel like I'm not. I don't know if I'm getting the full story here, but I want to get the full story, so I'm going to. So yeah, we're gonna save that question for some time off stream. So, but what's kind of your thoughts on stream right now, man? Do you feel like you want to still do it? Do you feel like it's something that you sort of have established and it's like it's kind of a waste to stop or something like that, or what's your take on it right now?
Nah, 2018, man. I'm gonna have a schedule really soon. But I'm mostly planning to do like 3 days a week streaming. and then still having like steady YouTube content in some way, like gonna figure out some YouTube content to make. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do, but I think we're gonna do like, you know, stream definitely on Sunday. Yeah, and then I don't know when else. Like Sunday and Thursday seem to be like the big days that people want. And then I'm gonna find like another day that works for me, and I'm just gonna do like 3 days a week, you know, sometimes 4 days a week streaming, like when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling great, you know, I'm ready to go. But I'm not gonna like force myself to do it. And like I did a big part of 2017 why it didn't work was like I had this schedule, you know, this 5 day a week schedule. And whenever I was home, I would try really hard to stick to it. And there'd be days where I was just like, you know, like I don't want to like, you know, broadcast myself to the world today. Like I'm not like I wasn't feeling well. It's just like I wasn't in the mood. Like I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyways, you know, because like you don't want to fall into that rhythm of being the guy that like always cancels and shit like that. So for me, I'm just like restructuring everything, and I'm just going to do like 3 days a week that I know I can more or less stick to, and continue pumping out YouTube content, you know, get better with like social media and stuff. Cause I was always in the early stages as well. Like I remember I didn't even have an Instagram for the first year that I streamed.
Me either. I never, for the first 3 years, I did anything, Tonka. That's my biggest regret, actually. And I don't really have many regrets, but that's my biggest one.
Yeah, man. It's just like, but yeah, like this year, I'm definitely going to still stream. We're going to stream like 3 days a week, the big day, 2 big days probably, and then like one whatever day. I think I want to play some more games and stuff on stream as well. Like the other day, we played like a 3.5 hour poker session or whatever with like a bunch of sit and goes. And then we just transitioned into playing PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's like a battle royale game. Super fun.
I played that with my little brother. We played some Fortnite and we played some PUBG, and I got to say, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would ever enjoy those kind of games.
Dude, those games are super fucking fun, man. I'm like, I don't know. I can check. I'm like a few hundred hours into PUBG right now.
Have you played Fortnite too?
No, I haven't played Fortnite, but I've watched Fortnite.
I don't know if I would play it if I played PUBG, because I liked it. That's for me. I liked it way more than PUBG. It just seemed like more.
It's way more simple.
Yeah, more simple. Exactly, more simple. Yeah. That's why I liked it. Yeah,
it's so much more basic. It's like way easier to pick up and understand what's going on. You know, you don't have to put like attachments on guns and shit. Like there's literally like 3 healing things. There's like it's way simpler for sure.
I mean, I've been researching the gaming world more, and you know, we think about like poker stars and kind of what they do as really fucked up, but man, the gaming world is really fucked up. I mean, just the way the companies approach microtransactions and the way the companies approach just trying to get as much money as they can from players and charging them for every little thing, and these like the addiction of these loot crates and these boxes and these packs. I mean, dude, it makes poker stars look like they're doing nothing with how.
I had a lot of talks about this. Not a lot of talks, but we've had some talks about this where it's like people are like, man, everyone in the poker world is so scummy. You know, people scam all the time. Like businesses are like not transparent. I was like, dude, that's just like everywhere. Like everyone in the business world, the more you work with companies, the more that you like, you know, reach out to people and talk with them, the more like you find other spaces, other communities you see. Poker's not that bad. Like, you know, every now we get a bad name because like every now and then, first of all, it's gambling, right? And then every now and then someone like takes off with like 200K. They scammed a bunch of people. Send me this money so I can send this person money. I'm in the States. I can't send blah, 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 all this shit. And every now and then someone does do something scummy like that. But like that shit happens everywhere. And that happens like tenfold in other industries and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a little taste of, you get people hitting you up for offers and companies to work with you and stuff like that. So I'm sure you see exactly, maybe like, you know, I took for granted some relationships I had with friends in poker who, you know, did some business stuff, and it just always went kind of seamlessly and it's pretty simple. And then you start working with people that you don't know as much and their businesses, and it's just all, I don't know, man. I stick to myself for a reason a lot of times, you know. It's just, it's simple. So.
But yeah, man, I think I'm gonna do the how we got on that tangent was I played PUBG on stream for like 3 hours the other day. After the poker stream, we just played like 3 hours of PUBG, and it was like really fun, you know. It's so funny as well, like a poker stream for like 4, 5, 6 hours. Like sometimes I'll be like checking after like 3, 4 hours and be like, man, this is like kind of slow, you know. And like a video game stream, it's just like I streamed for like 3 hours and it was like 15 minutes. It was like I hadn't even done anything, you know. And like I'm sure it's like the reverse, right? Like for like, you know, video game streamers that like try something else, like it's like, you know, video gaming is like not nearly as fun as it used to be or what it looks like. Same thing for everything. Once you do something so much, you know, it becomes less enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of feel like poker's in an interesting place right now, especially online poker, because I made a video, what was like a month ago, about the state of online poker being a little fucked up. And I mean, I know for cash games, sort of what it is now, and it's very hard to, I guess, get to those mid and high stakes in cash games right now. There's going to be a very small percentile of people that can do it, and it's always been that way, but now it's even more. And I don't know, what exactly is the landscape like for tournaments and for sit and goes? Is it something where people have a better chance to make it?
Well, the thing about sit and goes is sit and goes are pretty dead. Like, at least from what they used to be. I mean, everywhere just focuses on tournaments more or less, you know, like they don't care about anything else, because tournaments, like they're just targeting tournaments and making tournaments like the bread and butter, and like sit and goes and cash games, like it doesn't really seem like sites care about them. You know, I think like cash games for sure, sites don't care about them as much because they suck recreational money out faster than tournaments. And sit and goes the same thing, you know, sit and goes are basically the same as tournaments, except a smaller, faster format where you can be more elite, basically. So they suck poker recreationals money out more as well. So it seems like, you know, most poker sites are just going for the approach of, you know, let's pump the fuck out of tournaments and kind of not give a shit about the rest. You know, I know Party does some big like high stakes cash game stuff, but that's all just to get people on their site, you know, like they're just trying to get people to come to their site to play the tournaments, really.
Which makes sense, and this is what me and Negreanu got back and forth about this, and I disappointed in myself that I forgot the main reason why PokerStars is so adamant against cash games is because you just said it, is that the people that play cash games, they're cashing out a lot of money, whereas people that are playing spin and goes and the crack cocaine games and fucking tournaments, they're not cashing out as much money.
They're mixing it around. They're mixing it around.
The recreational player money is going to last longer in that field because they're paying just lower rake at a time, and it's gonna. And
bounty builder
they can get that money. So
progressive knockouts, these are like a gold mine for people who want to keep the recreationals happy. You can win back your money in the first 15 hands of a tournament. There's like no other like form of like sit and go or tournament that you can do that in, you know? Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, like that's like I saw you like battling and I was like, fuck man, like why doesn't Joey just like realize that like they don't like cash games because people win too much money at cash games.
Right. And I mean, that's been like a common argument that I you know, that's what people say that are on the operator side. And at the time, it slipped my fucking mind. I mean, they wrote about this in like actual business publications where poker people.
Yeah, they like straight up said it.
Yeah.
They like straight up said it.
They said
not publicly heads up anymore because heads up guys win too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the main reason why I think cash games aren't featured, is because, you know, whatever Negreanu says, you know, whatever, I think Negreanu just gets these things from Amaya. All right, say this to defend our point, and then he just fucking says it, and you can't argue with him. And, you know, he's like the most visible person right now in poker. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like unfortunate that he also owns a piece of PokerStars, and he's very incentivized to say whatever they say to say. So I don't know, man. It's I don't know, man. I think like 888 and Party, they're trying things. There's the coin poker coming. There is, you know, Phil Galfan's site coming. So hopefully one of these sites says like, hey, let's bring back cash games in some way. I mean, I don't know. I stay hopeful, but I lose hope every day. I'll be honest with you. So I don't know.
I don't really see the landscape like cash games ever being like a big thing again, unless we somehow get some other like poker boom, like, you know, like some new market comes in or somehow miraculously the states come in, but like that's like virtually impossible. Like, I don't know, man. I don't really see anything other than tournaments being successful in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think cash games can come. You know, I made a video about this too. I think there's things to try and ways to do it. It's just, are these people that are in charge of trying new things? I think a lot of the model we see being done by poker sites now is the same model that was done 10 plus years ago. That worked then, and it still works now. So it's not like you really need to change it, you know, if you don't care about the longevity and the glamour and sort of like, you know, I feel like the things that cash games and high stakes cash games and even just the cash game world in general did for poker is massive. And it built up so many poker people, stars that would never exist right now. And if you want to go away from that,
all there was, right?
Well, I mean, that was basically online poker. Yeah, that's what online poker was just cash games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I never was part of that world.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens with it. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of, you know, I'm at a point where, you know, I still want to, you know, advocate for that in a lot of ways, but at the same time, you know, kind of embrace what the new world might be. I guess it'll all be tournament players, vloggers, prop bettors, streamers, and that sort of thing. And I feel like that does take away a lot of the, you know, now it's in poker to get well known in a lot of ways. You don't really have to be good at poker. And that was, you know, sort of something that was always the case for a lot of years, except if you were a woman or if you won a big tournament on, or you got an ESPN a lot and had a crazy personality. So now it's, I feel like a lot of the content
community somewhere, right?
Yeah, right.
Like if you had, like I remember like the Warsaw. Like, do you know that guy?
Of course, I know the Warsaw. Yeah, shout out to the Warsaw.
Like he was like the 50 NL grinder or some shit, right? Like he might even still be sponsored by Stars.
Yeah,
like he's just sponsored by Stars because he's got a community. Like I think he's Ukrainian, right? Like a Ukrainian.
I thought he was
Polish.
Polish. Yeah. It seems like PokerStars now is going for the sponsor people who've already built up an audience and then don't help them at all. I mean, I just got to say, Tonka, it's pretty wild that they haven't really done anything with Lex in many, many years. They haven't, you know, they put so much money into marketing and advertising these celebrities. And then you have somebody like Lex Feldhaus, who's an online poker legend, someone who still wants to get good at poker. And you don't really, like, I don't know, it seems like they don't even really add anything to him in a lot of ways. He's just built everything up for himself where he's at right now. And now maybe they're starting to realize, hey, maybe we should put some money behind him. Where I think 888 does a great job. You know, you're signed with 888 Poker. I think they do a good job of creating content around their team, you know, bringing the team together and actually making it feel like a team and then providing support to help the team that are on that team grow.
Natalie Hoff tweets all the time, like best team ever. It's like, because we actually have a lot of fun, you know, like whenever we're all together, like we go drinking and stuff and we do shit together. Like, I don't know, man, I don't really get the same vibe from other companies and whatnot, but it's really fun, man. It's fun to hang out with them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like the team 888's putting together. They signed my young Brazilian friend Viviane Saliba, who I think was the hottest free agent for a long time, and I never quite understood why she wasn't signed with the audience that she has on Instagram and Brazil and just in general.
Yeah, another like legit community, right? That like everyone seems to be targeting as well, like the South American, like Brazil. You know, like people are trying to target that place, like.
Yeah, that's what made it surprising that Felipe Ramos, who, you know, I met him this summer, and I swear to God, this kid has fucking played live poker. I'm not kidding. He's played live poker maybe every day except like 4 since the World Series of Poker. He was signed with PokerStars, got a big audience, great personality, just like a fucking nice guy. I like the guy. I mean, he's one of my favorite people I met this summer. I don't always know what he's saying because, you know, he's Brazilian, kind of has a strong accent. But then PokerStars drops him in addition to other professionals. And I'm sort of sitting here thinking, like, what is, you know, like, what, I don't, you know, to me, it just doesn't make much sense. And I feel like he's going to someone that's going to get picked up by an 888 or by Party. And I don't know, man.
Oh, I stopped trying to figure out what big companies are doing a while ago. Just realizing, you know, like,
why did you choose 888 over Party over PokerStars? Because I'm sure you were offered by whoever you wanted to be signed by.
Yeah. So at the time, I mean, I like all the sites, you know, like at the time, like I was playing on all the sites more or less equally, like any tournament that I could play, I was playing. I liked 888, obviously. You know, PokerStars was starting to move into like a bad direction, so that was kind of like annoying. So that definitely did factor into it as well at the time. But to be honest, Party hadn't gotten their shit together at that point, like at all. Like they had no offer. Like I think like the very first time that like I talked to anyone at Party before I was signed by anyone, they were like, so hey, we can give you 3 109 tickets for yourself, and then you can give away 3 109 tickets on the stream. And they were like, but don't worry, you know, the 3 109 tickets that we give you, you can keep all of the winnings if you win anything on those 3 109 tickets. And for this, they wanted me to like play a tournament on stream, promote it pretty hard, and then do like a giveaway for 3 109 tickets. And the payment was me receiving 3 109 tickets. But they, again, assured me in the email like it was some big fucking thing. Don't worry, though. You're going to get to keep all the money. So at the time, they were pretty fucking unorganized, and they didn't have anything going on. And I started talking to 888, and I liked what they were saying and what we were talking about. And it just ended up being a good fit. And I did talk to PokerStars a little bit. But yeah, I won't really go into the reasons why we didn't sign with anyone else. Just I liked 888. I liked what they were offering. We came to an agreement on what worked for both of us, and yeah, I'm happy where we are right now.
Yeah, I really like I'm trying. By the way, I was trying to put something on my Instagram right now, but I don't really know how to make it look good right now with how my setup is. But Yeah, I really like the direction 88's going. I feel like Party signed some big names. They got Fedor Holes, Jason Kuhn, Ike Hollywood Haxton, but and I've talked with them a little bit, and I've kind of seen, they're doing these high stakes cash games, and you can kind of tell that whoever's in charge of the content or the promotion of the marketing when it comes to those things isn't necessarily like that experience with it, because they had this high stakes cash games. They didn't create any content around it. They sort of
how do you have these games and not make like a YouTube video or something about it? Like, somebody was streaming it and commentating on it, right? I think that's all they did.
They got in touch with me once or twice. Like, they would message me the day before, do you want to stream it? And the first couple of times I did, because I didn't have anything going on. But then, to do that multiple weeks, it was just like, they let me know the last day. It wasn't something I'd scheduled, but they had someone doing commentating. It was something that should have been way more popular than it was. And I think you kind of see that with the professionals they have on the team right now, is that, they have these great names who people are interested in, but they aren't really doing anything with them. They aren't getting them out there. They aren't encouraging them to do media. They aren't encouraging them to be in content, put them together as a team. So they have.
I've been seeing this for about 6 months. The Party's just doing like an old Stars strategy, right?
Well, I feel like Stars did a lot better job before of just promoting their players, at least a little bit.
Yeah, but they just all they're doing is just signing like a bunch of like high roller, like live big names, and like, what does that really accomplish you? Like,
well, I don't. That's the question, right? That's the question.
Like, in the current economy, don't we need like people like myself and like like Lex and like Jamie Staples and stuff, like people who stream? Like, people who stream, like, make content, actually get the message across, actually engage with people. Like, how many people on a daily basis do you think that Ike Haxton engages with? Like, how many signups do you think he's bringing into Party Poker because, like, Ike Haxton is, like, a Party Poker pro? I'm not singling out Ike like he's any different than, like, any of the other big names, like Fedor. Fedor might actually bring more names than the other guys, but, like, I don't see what, like, these like high roller guys that I have no idea how much money they're paying them, like, bring to the table, Like,
yeah, I think it's like a cumulative effect. Maybe, at some point they have the names, then they can do something with it, or just you see the names, you see all the names together, and it's still pretty new to the
like you were saying, like, they don't, like, nobody seems to like utilize the big names,
Right. I don't know. This is something I've always wondered in a lot of ways. PokerStars did it with certain players, and I think Full Tilt Poker did the best job of it, to be perfectly honest with you. They had their names out there all the time. They had commercials built around a team. They had things on their website promoted as a team. They got them on Poker After Dark. Obviously Full Tilt Poker had a lot of imaginary money that they could put behind this shit. So, but it's like, if me and Big Jonah Hunkerman can create some sort of like fun content at the World Series of Poker. PokerStars made a big deal about, they sent down an exclusive cameraman to film like Negreanu and some people. I'm like, wait, this is the first fucking year they sent down a cameraman? It's like they made $500 million plus last year. They can't send down a fucking cameraman with some of their biggest names to record some exclusive behind the scenes content of these professionals at their number one staple event. To me, it seems a little ridiculous. And you have somebody like 888 who sent down people to their 888 South American tour. They create a lot of content around that. And I don't know, man. It's just things like that out there, these simple things that aren't being done by some of the sites that promote their players. And you always wonder, like, what's going on? Why isn't this happening?
It all comes just back to people being bad at their jobs, dude.
Well, I don't want to bang on anyone like that. Obviously there's people that have had success in these things and stuff like that. But
no, I just mean, like, we're bad at our jobs is what I'm saying, Like, we were on Instagram for like 18 years, like, combined, Like, this is what I'm saying, like, everyone just sucks at what they do, and like they think they're better than they are. It's like fucking sex, dude. Like, everyone thinks they're awesome and everyone sucks, It's like, it's all the same, man.
Huh?
Like, everyone thinks they're good at shit and they all just suck.
Who doesn't suck at things? Doug Polk. Doug Polk's good at things. And this just goes to show you how good Doug Polk is at things. I don't know about his sex
game, but who's good at other things? Fucking Douglas Polk.
Yeah, I don't know how good Doug is at sex either. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know how much. I don't want to get into how much sex I think Doug may or may not be having. I feel like he's pretty busy. Like, listen, I feel like what's in Doug's mind all the time. I don't know how much sex is on Doug's mind. I don't know. I'm just not sure. It doesn't strike me as a very sexual man. He strikes me as someone who wants to dominate the world, but I don't know. I never got that vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, man. Yeah, you know what? I've never got a really sexy vibe from Doug either, to be completely honest with you.
I've seen his pickup artistry in action when Doug was single, but now he's married Doug to Caitlin. Shout out to Caitlin. But I don't know, man. Speaking of Doug, I'm going to set this up for a nice transition. You're obviously you with Upswing Poker. It's actually not as obvious because I don't feel like it's. But what's been your relationship like with working with Upswing Poker so far?
Yeah, so like I was talking to Doug the other day and whatnot, and I was just like, so we signed with Upswing, right? And then we like streamed for like another month, and then I had this like hiatus where like I was just like kind of like vanished for like 3 months. But now we're gonna be getting another module going really soon, I believe. And we're gonna be start doing some more promotion. I'm gonna get some YouTube videos up around centered around Upswing and do some more stuff like that. It's just like it's a lot of things like to get back in the rhythm of, and like like lots of things to like get behind and constantly plug and whatnot.
Yeah,
but yeah, no.
Tough.
Sorry.
I said it's definitely tough when you're trying to promote this. You trying to promote Upswing or 888 or your YouTube videos, your Twitch stream. Yeah, it's like all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Or like promote like our store, like we sell clothing as well. Like what? Like it's hard, man. While also doing all this shit, you have to like somehow be good at poker and win tournaments and give like a good hand analysis of what you're doing. So right. everything goes in different directions. And yeah, I mean, like I said, we kind of took like a hiatus as soon as we signed up with Upswing, signed on with Upswing. But we are going to be getting more stuff going on with them, I do believe, really soon. I got to talk to Fees.
You know what? Doug Polk, the Sex God. I kind of like that nickname, Shout. I think we should start referring to Doug Polk as the Sex God. I think that would be a very great nickname for him.
Yeah, he's going to love that.
I think he will. Doug Polk, a.k.a. the Sex God. He's going to be confused where it came from, but I feel like the nickname's born now. I don't know. I need a new nickname for him. The Supreme Leader, that's still relevant for him, but I think the Sex God is sort of, I could have a pretty good ring to it.
Could be it.
Yeah. What's the favorite thing that you've done since World Series? What's like the highlight of the past 6 months for you, 7 months for you?
I don't know, man. Nothing's really standing out. I've just been going through the motions, How about you? Let me think. You give me your since the World Series.
What's been the highlight for me since the World Series of poker? I don't know. It's definitely going to be some sort of romantic moment I've had with a certain person in my life. I think that's probably going to be the highlight. But in terms of travel, I guess maybe going to, doing something with Live at the Bike, going out there for one of the weeks. I had my PLO week, and I think maybe that week was really fun.
Yeah, how was that? I think I watched like one hand. You got stacked on the last hand of the night. Was that it?
That was definitely one time. Yeah. I did not run well with aces there for sure, but
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what that was a fun experience though. I mean, it was actually, it could have been, I don't know. It was fun, but at the same time, not that fun in some ways, because a lot of the time, especially for the PLO, you're basically judged by this 3-hour time period for a couple of days. And, I don't know.
Doug and I were talking about being on the heads up, dude. And like how hurtful that like could have been for him, like losing to Helmuth and stuff like that, and like how like it would be like hurtful for me if like Helmuth just like 2-0'd me, like 2-0 stomped me in like the 50K heads up on Poker Night in America.
Who won? Did you beat him or what happened in that match? I don't remember.
I beat Helmuth 2-1. He won the first one and then I won the next two. But Olivier beat me 2-0 in the final.
Yeah.
That time.
Yeah, it seemed like Poker Night in America was doing a lot of things, and then Matt Glantz started becoming Crypto Matt Glantz, and now Poker Night in America, I haven't heard much from them pretty much since then. So I don't know. Was anything happening with them? With you?
Man, I saw JMO going off on Crypto Matt Glantz the other day.
What was he saying? I didn't see that.
Because Glantz was like shilling some icon coin. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think he's working for them allegedly in his bio or something like that. Yeah.
And he was like shilling it or whatever, and JMO was just like, "Why no updates now?" After it dumped. And we're just like asking him why there was no updates ever.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Strange.
I had some nice times with the wife. We had some nice times. We had a nice little weekend in Barcelona. That was fun. We go to Prague every year. Prague was enjoyable as always. I always celebrate my birthday in Prague, so that was fun. But nothing like really. I haven't done anything exciting. I don't do anything exciting. I'm not a very exciting person.
Yeah, I kind of can understand that. Yeah, I feel like I'm not an exciting person, but I think I just try not to talk about what I actually do in my real life because it's normally out of line, and I'd probably get in trouble.
I was going to say it's a little bit too out of line. Yeah. So you're actually what you're saying is you are a super exciting person, but you just don't tell anyone the exciting parts of your life.
Very debatably, yes. I always think about this when people are like, "What have you been doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I know what I've been doing. I'm just not sure if it's going to be in line to tell other people what I'm doing." It's not always like, not always stuff you're proud to tell your family sometimes what you've been doing. It's kind of fun, it's exciting, but at the same time, you know, it's not, I don't know, whatever. It's like, fucking knows, man. I don't know. What's up, everybody in the chat, man? I feel like I haven't been talking to the live audience in a long time, man. I see a lot of familiar names out there. My buddy Vernon D-Backs, aka Mr. Masturbations in the chat. What's up, Vernon? Ashley Delaney out there. Epicurus95 as always, man. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I see a lot of names I've seen for many, many years, man. Well, how do you feel about that? There's some names that you've probably seen in your chat now for years that have been, you know, supporting you or watching you.
For sure. I mean, it was pretty awesome, to be totally honest with you. Like through this like 3-month break or whatever, we still have like 500 like subs that are just like dedicated to the channel. They're just like there, and they're gonna be there. You know, I think like some absolute lads. But yeah, like you definitely see some of the same names around for years, man. For like the last 2 years, it's good, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to think, man. I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
Under the table.
Well, how many people are watching you live? Because I know for a while, I think you were getting upwards like 5K plus or something like that. What's your number been like now that you came back to streaming?
Well, it's been 4 days since being back, and I think we peaked to like 4,500 over 5K one day. But I mean, Lex has pretty much taken over the game. You know, like nobody can really compete with an exciting man. We've said from the beginning, like both of us, you know, like I think and Doug as well was pretty similar, obviously in the cash game streets. But I think Doug, Lex, and I are like all like we're relatively similar streamers, like kind of just said whatever the fuck we want, and just like yeah, we're like relatively entertaining and probably the best 3 people to play poker that have streamed on Twitch. I mean, I know like you know some other people have streamed on Twitch like for like 6 hours, you know, like. Fedor has come in and streamed like 1 or 2 times, I think. Like Timex streamed a little bit. Like it's like guys that have done it like for like 3 hours at a time or whatever. But I think we're like all the most entertaining, and I think that Lex and I were always like the most similar. And then when I sort of like took a hiatus, like he just streamed. I mean, he did it the whole time, anyways. He's like the sickest grinder like in the fucking world. Like it's impossible what he does, dude. And he's done it for like 15 years or something. Like I don't know.
I remember when I had Lex on the podcast the first time, and I talked like me and him used to grind Pot Monomo together, dude. I feel like every fucking day we did it, man. It's crazy, and he's definitely someone who he just sort of put that grind right into what he does with streaming and just fucking
exactly, yeah. And yeah, he's just a savage right now. So like he's also on EU time, which is really nice for him because he can stream like Twitch is kind of a pretty toxic. And Doug talked about this a bunch as well. Twitch is a pretty toxic world in the sense that like whoever's the top spot has like exponential growth, and then like everybody else fights for like the small amount of growth, right? So like if you're the top spot in Twitch poker and someone comes to poker for the first time, they go to whoever the biggest streamer is. They don't go to like the 6th biggest streamer and be like, hey, maybe this guy's awesome, you know? They go to the person that has 4,000 viewers who's in the top spot because he's clearly awesome or he's clearly got something going on.
Right.
So that's what it was like for me for a really long time. In 2017, I just had my Twitch talk with the head of Twitch Poker right now, and yeah, we would have had the biggest numbers in Twitch if we had a streamed for more than like 8 months in 2017. That's how it was for us. Like we had like the listing like all day, every day, you know, for like 3 or 4 months, where I just had like the 4 or 5K top spot. But now Lex is on early, and he fucking streams 5 days a week, like for like 10 hours a day. And nobody can compete. But so the basic point of this was our numbers have been like around 2K concurrent, somewhere between like, and it's only 4 streams back right now. So I mean, even on like the 4th stream, people are still coming and be like, "Oh shit, you're back! Didn't even realize." You know, it takes like a few weeks for people to get fully back in the rhythm. But yeah, it's difficult to retain those kind of 4 or 5K numbers when Lex is currently there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Where does your motivation sit right now? What do you feel like? What's driving you the most? Is it maintaining?
I mean, I just want to like I'm happy to keep on streaming. You know, like our numbers might not be like 5K plus every single stream like they were, but like they wouldn't be like that even if I had to listen to myself because I'm not going to be streaming as much. I'm not going to be doing like 5-6 days in a row sometimes. You know, like I'm mostly just going to be doing 3 days a week. So yeah, I definitely think. Who wins 2v2 basketball? Helmuth and Luke Schwartz versus Tonka and Poppy.
Have you played basketball at all?
I never played in like a league or anything, but I played when I was young. Like,
I mean, well,
And I
obviously
know
Luke Short's beast everything, so he's probably just gonna beast.
Helmuth actually does play basketball too.
Yeah, and he's tall and he plays.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Helmuth's strategy at basketball, it would just be because I'd probably guard him and he'd just post me up and let me till I foul him or till he gets the hoop and scores. And he's probably going to call every fucking foul against me. And I'm certainly going to be fouling him because that's what you do against someone who's bigger than you and just goes to the post every fucking time like a fucking dork. So yeah, it'd be a violent game, I got to say, if he tried to post me every single time. So I don't know. It'd be a fun game that I'd be very interested to see exactly who could win, me and you versus Helmuth.
I think that would be relatively close, to be honest. I was honestly, like, people will never believe me because, you know, I'm overweight now and don't look like super athletic, but I was always good at like every game and every sport that I played. And I played like 5 sports when I was young and when I was in shape and whatnot, you know, and I was like always like just good at like all the sports. I was never like amazing, but I was always like solid, like top of the team still, you know.
Maybe you might need a weight related prop bet like Jamie Staples did.
Dude, yeah, get me involved in a weight related prop bet. I'm working on it right now. I did meal prep the other day for like the first time ever. That wasn't like a chili or something. Did chicken, sweet potatoes, and broccoli.
Nice. Okay. Now it's about maintaining that. I see you got 2 foam rollers in the room for some odd reason, which, you know, I'm a fan of foam rollers, but you have 2 in there.
The blue one is mine, and the black one is like my buddies that lived with me for like 2 months, but now he's off in South America with his girlfriend.
Oh,
he's like, that's his computer and everything back there too. He just left like everything behind.
Someone said a prop bet where me and you come merge weights. I don't really want to gain that much weight.
Whoa, bro! How much do you weigh? Like 185. Yeah.
I can't be. I don't know if I could gain more than 20. I don't know if I could gain more than 20 pounds. I mean, I'm sure I could, but I'd have to eat terribly.
Us getting to the same weight would be the easiest fucking thing ever. If there was like
right now,
I weigh like 240.
Yeah, that'd be yeah, for sure. It'd be really easy.
It'd be the easiest thing ever.
You'd probably get down to that in like a month or 2 if you really wanted to. I mean, it's
to 185. No, I'm not losing 55 pounds in a fucking.
You could get to 2 something, I think, pretty quickly.
Yeah, I could drop like 30. I could drop like 30 to 40 pounds in like 2 months. Like if I had to, like if there was a reason to, like no problem. Yeah.
I think so.
Which is like I should probably just do that. You know, like I wouldn't enjoy life as much, and like I would probably gain it back. That's the problem. Like you can't just like lose infinite weight immediately and then like expect to keep it off.
Do you think Jamie and Matt are going to win this prop bet? They're about 20-something 6 pounds away from each other. I think they got about 50 days left.
It's going to come down to the wire for sure. Like, I mean, I think that like people were talking about it like it was a lock the last like few months. But I don't think it's a lock now. Like what's the stipulation? They have to be within a pound on the final day. They have a 24-hour period to be within 1 pound of each other.
Yeah, I believe it's in a 1 pound of each other. That's what you want. I'm not sure if they can get within 1 pound anytime, or if it has to be within 1 pound on that day. Or
it has to be on that day. I know it's on that day.
Okay.
I'm almost positive that it's on that day.
So
I think
like they're going to win, right? I mean, it just seems to me like they're going to win it, but you don't think so?
It seems like they're going to win it, but also like I don't really understand why Jamie's not going harder than he is. Like he still just like posts that he's eating like I don't want to like be wrong here, and like chat can correct me or someone else can correct me, but I think he was eating like 1,000 to like 1,300 calories a day and just like still walking. Like surely if you're this close and there's like 2 months left, you're just like fucking. You're going to the gym, you know, like you're running for like 2 hours a day or something. Like you're burning it off. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I followed it a little bit, but I feel like Jamie's like social media. He basically just posts selfies of himself like a 17-year-old girl now. So I don't really follow along with as much strategy. His like,
brother, he's got a girlfriend for the first time like in years or ever, and he's fucking like a skinny Jamie Staples now. You don't think he's gonna post a picture like 6 pictures a day?
No, he's posting like 2 or 3 a day. I'm like, I mean, I guess that that does make sense, but it's seriously like girl on Instagram. It's just selfies all the time and like.
But he's Staples now. He's fucking hyped, man. Dude, someone posted a thing in our chat the other day, and it was like before Jamie got his teeth done when he was like super big, and like the transformation's insane, you know? Like it's crazy. Like, of course he wants to post like 20 pictures a day. I'm not gonna knock that.
I don't see this girlfriend lasting, man. I gotta be honest. I think once he gets down there and he starts getting out in the world, maybe get some more female attention. I just don't see this relationship lasting.
Moving on, yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, it's a brave new world out here. He comes to Vegas in the summer, man. I feel like he's gonna get out of line, and I don't know.
You'll see. Huh?
Does he even play poker anymore? I don't even know. Does he play poker anymore? I'm not even sure.
I think he streams. I think he's been streaming a little bit and playing some poker like every now and then, but I think his sessions have relatively been pretty short.
Yeah. I don't know. He does. I don't even know if he's a poker player anymore. I think does like the video blogs and stuff like that. So I don't really know.
Yeah, he loves the vlog game. Yeah, which I'll never get. You know, I'm not a fan. Like we already live our lives through like a telescope enough, you know, like I don't see the pleasure in like literally broadcasting everything you do all day long to people. Like, and it's not even like you have to be really fucking good at that and do exciting shit. Like, in my opinion, like you can't just be like, I'm having coffee now I'm eating berries, now I'm going to play poker. Like, I don't. And this isn't a knock to Jamie. This is a knock to like any vlogger who who vlogs and doesn't do anything exciting. Like, you know, the biggest vlogger, what's his name? The little American guy with curly hair and always wears glasses. Ah, fuck that guy.
Oh, a poker player guy? I don't know any.
No. But he's fucking awesome because he does fucking badass shit and travels the world, and just like he's gotten to a place.
Oh, Casey Neistat.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Casey Neistat.
I've never been a fan of the vlogs. I don't know, but people love the vlogs, man. People love in poker. Like, you could be a random guy, you start up a vlog, and you're gonna get 15,000 people watching your vlog, man.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, he does exciting shit, you know. Like the big guys, they do like exciting shit. Like just sitting around your basement and being like, "Oh, this is me playing video games. I'm cooking up some chicken for dinner." You know, like that's not exciting. I went for a long watch on the beach today. Check out this cool shot. Like, that's not a.
Hold on, Doc. I want to read this comment from Bert Raccoon. His relationship doesn't last. How could you make such a stupid comment? And this is getting me fired up. I wouldn't like people that I'm kind of related to make such comments. Bert, first of all, what the fuck are you talking about? Second of all, what the fuck are you talking about? Third of all, I'm speculating, man. As someone who's been there with the women, I'm telling you right now, my friend, listen, I'll make a prop bet right now. I don't care. And if I lose, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't even matter.
What's the prop?
I don't know. Did you know, actually, Tonka, I'm going to be honest with you. I made a prop bet recently, and I haven't told anybody what it is.
Shit, you're going to tell me after the pod then, I guess.
It's for $6,900.
69. Wow, it has to do with sex.
It does have something to do with sex, correct?
Of course it does.
Yes.
What about this fucking, didn't you make this prop bet of like language prop bet? Are you going to win that shit or what?
Probably not. No. I don't think so.
And the swimming one?
Swimming one was canceled. That's no more.
So what's the sex prop bet?
I'm gonna make an official video about it, and it's a little unbelievable. So
unbelievable sex prop bet for $6,900. Why didn't you just make it
$6,900 prop bet? Yes, it's yeah. I'll get more into it. You know, yeah, I'll get more into it later. But I want to do an official video for it. So.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, Bert Raccoon. Listen, Bert, I don't know what Bert's talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't really care, man. I don't know what he's talking about, man. So what do you got planned coming up here, Tonka? You got a couple months here. Any travels with 888 or any travels with
we have a kickoff event, 888 Live London, 888 Poker Live London, that is rolling around super soon. Like February 8th to 12th, I want to say. But I won't be going. You know, all the other 888 ambassadors, they're all stationed pretty close. You know, they're all like in London or somewhere close that it's like a pretty short travel. And I was just like, listen, man, like it's a pretty big travel for like 3-4 days for like a 400-pound like the kickoff event. You know, it's not really like one of our main series. So I was just like, maybe if I can skip that one and just get back to streaming, and that'll be better for us overall. And they were like, yeah, that's totally cool. So I will be skipping the first one. And yeah, but I don't have anything planned travel-wise for the next 2 months or so. It's just going to be streaming, content creation, attempting to get in this healthy lifestyle rhythm. I've been up before I've been awake in my bed before 10 a.m. every single day for the last 2 weeks, so that's been good.
Wow.
And a bunch of the days I've been up pretty early. I'm gonna try to get on the early schedule. You know, I wanna start streaming at latest 11 a.m. most days. The last like 2 streams have been in the afternoon, but that's just because they weren't meant to be like full sessions.
I've been waking up before 10 a.m. as well too, Tonka, and I got to say I don't like it, but we'll see if it has any sort of benefit to the real world here.
It's definitely gonna have some benefit to the real world. I like it, man. I like being up early because when I get up at like 1 or 2 p.m., you know, I feel like shit when it's like when like 3 or 4 a.m. roll around and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm gonna be up at like 2 p.m. again tomorrow. You know, like in the past when I was just like playing poker or whatever and I didn't really have a schedule, that was okay. But like these days, like, you know, I have shit that I need to do in the daytime. I have people that I need to talk to before they go home from work at fucking 5 p.m., you know? So it's just, I just prefer to do like a morning. I'm liking the morning schedule. I don't like the actual waking up part, but I bought fucking bulletproof coffee yesterday and had one this morning and it was awesome.
Damn, man, who am I talking to right now? You're gonna start wearing ripped hoodies very soon if you keep up at this pace. You're doing some yoga. I don't know.
I made fun of that hoodie when we were in Vegas, and you were like, "Fuck it, I'm getting you one, and it's gonna look dope." And then you never got me one.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know what that's about.
I was blinded by Sophia Lovegren, I think, at that time when we were talking. Maybe that's why. Shout out to Sophia.
Reasonable.
Wait, what happened with your relationship with Sam Abernathy? Last time we were on the podcast, you know, you and Sam Abernathy were in some sort of relationship. I don't think that's lasted. I've been seeing her around with an Irish
My roommate
guy
just woke up and he just starts laughing. You know, I still get people coming in the stream and like, "Yo, Tonka, what's it like being with Sam Abernathy?" Like,
what was it like?
2 years later, Joey, stop trolling.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'll be serious with you. It's pretty awesome. She's really cool. We go on like a lot of trips, and we have like a lot of good times together. You know, she's awesome.
So wait, are you still together? Or are you guys not together anymore?
No, we're still together.
Yeah.
This is,
I remember I told Olivier when I saw him and Sam, and I said, "Oh, did you know about Tonka?" And he's like, "Who the fuck's Tonka?" This is before I think you two met, and he was like, "Who the fuck's Tonka?" I was like, "Oh, Tonka." I had him on the pod talk about that. He's like. He seemed like he was a little upset about it. I don't know, man. This was when they were dating. So,
well, yeah, no, I've never actually met Sam Abernathy for what it's worth. She seems like a lovely lady.
Yeah, you haven't. You're right. I mean, I don't know. People believe that, but if they want to keep believing that, that's okay. I don't know. They might still be believing that. Who knows? What did this guy say? I actually want to address this. Nigel, this is a good comment about me, so I just want to read it. Joe Ingram 1 knows about the women. Some of the stuff Ebony has came out about on her own channel is legendary. Confirm, Poppy. Now I want to know what that means. Has she talked about me on this channel, Nigel, or what exactly are you talking about? Because I want to know if she said something about me and her, because I want to go listen to it, of course, if she has. So, but yeah, let me get some couple more shouts. We'll take some questions from the chat in here, and I want to take some suggestions for upcoming podcast guests because I have some people in mind, but I'm curious what people really want to see on there. So we got Carl M out there. What's up, Carl? What's happening, brother? Andrew L, Kyle Pearson, David S. Luke, I'm your father. My buddy, David Huber. David Huber is one of the best media people in the entire world. He is one of the people who's grinding and putting out good media-related content. I want to give him a big shout out. Shout out to David. He crushes it, man. And I feel like right now the media is in a very weird place in poker, Tonka. You know, a lot of people that are talked about or the rising poker stars are never discussed. You know, all the content being created is around people who were playing poker, 10 fucking years ago. So I do think, and I would like if people that were creating content and media itself would feature more of the people who are coming up in poker and who are still trying to make it at poker instead of being so focused on people who don't really play poker that much anymore.
Yo, when are the NBA players getting on the pod?
You're right. I need to win that prop bet. You're right. I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
Someone asked if I really was the unluckiest player in the world, and that is a fact. Yeah.
What? Who's what?
Someone asked if I was truly the unluckiest player in the world, and I just said yes. That is a fact.
Yeah. Are you the unluckiest player in the world?
I mean, it's got to be close if I'm not.
Yeah.
Joey's just like, you're a fucking moron. Like, I don't even know what to say to this shit.
But
yeah, honestly, somebody asked one of my friends, Joey, at a live table somewhere, if I was really dating Sam Abernathy.
So wait, you are or you aren't?
Stop it!
What? I don't know.
People are going to be asking me this shit for years, man. It's going to be a fucking meme forever.
Dude, that sounds awful. People are asking if you're dating Sam Abernathy. That sounds like, how do you even how do you live? How do you like live? I don't get it. How do you live with having a Swedish girlfriend and people thinking that you date Sam Abernathy as well? Isn't that
I don't
really
know,
tough?
man. It's really tough.
My God, man. Someone asked about how much 888 Poker pays you. How much do they pay you? Can we talk about this? How much do sponsored players get? I'm going to be honest. I actually don't know how much. I've never asked anyone how much money they make from being a sponsored player. Can you tell me how much they make?
I can tell you the range of salaries that I know exist.
Okay, can you tell me? But I'm very curious. I actually don't know.
I can tell you the range of salaries that I know exist for sponsored players. And that range that I know is 40,000 to like 300,000.
300,000?
That's the range.
Jesus fucking man.
Who gets paid what in this? I will not be disclosing, and I will not be disclosing what I personally get paid.
Who's making 300,000? They giving that to Spraggy and fucking Benji or something like that? Who's getting 300,000, man? Okay, listen. If a poker site wants to pay me 300K, get in touch with me, please. I'll be very interested in talking, and I'll do a lot more content too if that's the case. So I don't know, man. Who could make 300,000 out there? Who's getting sponsored right now? It's getting $300,000. Jeff Gross?
No.
Okay. I don't know. Whatever. Who knows, man? I don't really know. Somebody said, Shaskare says, Joe's, what's the best way to start fringing poker for money? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Do you know what that means, Tonka?
Fringing poker for money?
Yeah, what's the best way to start fringing poker for money? Do you know what that means?
I have no fucking idea what that means. No.
Jay Carver might be getting 300K. I could see Jay Carver getting a lot of money.
Could be.
You think? Oh, so he's probably 300K. So then you're gonna be somewhere like, I don't know. What do you? How much do you get?
I'm not fucking answering anything. Okay. I don't. People don't need to know what I get paid.
Yeah, I know they don't. I just want to ask. I'm curious. Man, over 100,000? That's fucking kind of crazy. Maybe I need to get sponsored by a site or something like that. I don't know. Listen, get in touch with me, guys. Not ACR. I'm sorry, I won't be sponsored by ACR, but other sites can get in touch with me for sure. I know it's rude to talk about income. Listen, our sides. Let me tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm being sarcastic. I know Tonka's not going to answer the fucking question. So I am sarcastically asking to appease people in the chat that are very curious about this. So they're going to think that I'm asking this from a serious standpoint. But really, I know we're not going to get to the specifics of how much he makes, but I think it's still fun to bring it up and then not get an answer about it. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. So I'll give you a little behind the scenes sort of thing like that. And yeah, I do not want to be sponsored by ACR. That's correct. But you play on ACR at all? Do you play on that site at all, Tonka?
Occasionally I'll flick in one of their like $1 million guarantees. I lost one buy-in at this fucking 50-100 rat hole the other day.
Which one's that? The what is it? Like 5100 rat hole. The 5100 at No Limit and PLO, right?
Yeah, I didn't even see if they had PLO. I'm obviously not even looking at that, but I had like 1100 in my account, and a friend of mine was playing it, and I was like, fuck it, I'll hop in for one bullet, and then I folded for 3 orbits and shoved 4s and ran into 10s, and I was gone.
Yeah, I think those games are an interesting idea. I've seen them on the untracked American sites and some of the untracked other sites too. So basically how it works, guys, is the 5100. They have it lower, but it doesn't run. And you buy in, the min and max buy-in's $1,000. And for 7 days, you cannot rat hole. So you have to bring back your stack. So at Potluck in Omaha right now, there's a couple guys like Kobus who have over $100,000 stack. And when they come there, they'll have like 145,000 or something fucking absurd like that. So these games have brought in a lot new regulars who usually play on other sites who now decided to work in work in ACR. And now we're seeing a lot more action on 2550 and 1020 and 1530 because some of those regulars are now coming onto the site. And oftentimes what you might see as well is some of these random accounts who show up and are playing incredibly fishy that seem to run up these stacks of money on there. And it's very curious exactly what's going on with some of these accounts. But
I mean, is it like widely accepted that there's lots of bots on ACR?
Well, there are definitely bots in ACR. Whether there's a lot of bots, I feel like some of the bot accounts have gone away a little bit that were playing Potluck in Omaha. But I think there's some suspicious play. Let's put it like that, Tonka. Yes. I don't know if they're bots. I don't know what exactly is going on. I don't know if we got some ultimate bet, absolute poker sort of shit happening here. But I am quite suspicious of a couple of different things. And I've got some messages from people as well, too, So I don't know, man. It's something. It's something. It's something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't, but I don't really fuck with it too much. I mean, I actually played some 5BB games on 8 and those are pretty fun. I'm not really sure what the action's like, but I mean, it's like a similar idea without the rat hole, right? You could only ever buy in for 5 blinds, but like after playing for a little while, you can end up getting really fucking deep. Like I was playing like 5-10 one day, like just like donking around, and we got like 150 bigs deep or something like that. Like me and one guy that were playing heads up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like, listen, anytime you're getting out innovated at your cash games by America's Card Room, I think you need to reevaluate exactly what your plan is. And I think PokerStars,
yeah,
honestly,
they don't give a fuck, like at the end of the day, they don't give a shit because they don't want their cash games to flourish. Right. They don't want people. They're totally fine with like the regs leaving their sites and going to play cash games on other sites. I think that play cash games and play like 6 high stakes tournaments a year or something. Like they don't want these people. At least that's my understanding of what's going on. Like they don't want the guys that are going to be cashing out, like $500K a year from heads up cash games. That's my like understanding and like my idea of it. Like I don't know if that's exactly true or whatever, but it doesn't seem like they give a fuck if these people leave their site.
Yeah. Just sad, man. Chris says, what do you think of these private poker apps that people are putting together, like the one that New York Poker King has? So, Chris, let me tell you what's going on with these private poker apps. People don't know about these. So there's poker apps that are private, and there's also websites. These are browser sites that people play on. This was kind of, the untracked American sites. These are what we talk about. I don't know, Tonka, have you played on any of these poker apps, the Chinese ones or the American ones?
I played on one for like a really brief period of time.
What'd you think?
I mean, it was like enjoyable. It was like fun. It was just like a poker on an app, but you can only play one table kind of thing. It was fine. It was. I know that you can get like an emulator. Some people have emulators on the PC where they can play like a bunch of tables and stuff. I don't know. That's
not. Can you? Oh, who knew about that? I don't know. Yeah, people are doing some. Listen, on any of these sites, guys, that are an app or a browser, you got to be a little careful because people are taking advantage of things on there. As Tonka just, sort of mentioned something very brief there. That's something that people are taking advantage of. And anytime you plan something like that, you do have to worry. And that's the downside of these sites.
Very skeptical of the games you're going to play in.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, there are bad players on these sites with very bad win rates. So it's less for you to overcome. So anytime there is, I think right now when I play any high stakes games on most sites, I assume something's going on, whether it's pure collusion, whether it's more than one account someone's having, or whether it's just potentially super using or whatever. I just assume something's potentially happening. So you have to start thinking about, okay, so I have to be good enough to win in a straight game. So then I have to, every time something like that might be going on, you have to overcome those things. So your win rate has to overcome the rake, has to overcome the other people's win rates, has to overcome potentially things that might be happening, getting out of line or whatever. And if nothing's happening, well, most times you're probably going to be a losing player anyway because your win rate's not going to be good. But now when you finally do start to win, and then when you add in maybe a bad player, and then obviously you're going to be winning more money in that game. But then when you start accounting for other things that might be going down, it's going to be very hard to overcome these things on a consistent basis. And that is why the idea of game selection becomes even more important. And that becomes a reason why people don't want to play, is because the more and more you have to overcome, it's just not worth it. And that's the way I look at these games right now, is it's just, sure, people are winning money in them. Sure, you can have a positive win rate in them. But at the same time, when you're getting cheated or when something's going down, you're not going to overcome it, and you're going to drive yourself fucking crazy wondering exactly what's going on. So
yeah, these sites just like bad, like for me personally, like these sites are also all like cash games, right?
Yeah.
It's all mostly cash games for the most part, and I've like never played cash games really or studied it. So, I mean, I know like even like lots of tournament guys moved over to them at the beginning because it was so soft, so much money made, blah 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 blah. But I never really jumped on that train. It's kind of difficult to like be a streamer, content creation, and try to play tournaments and be decent at those, and then also on the side just have like fucking one of these apps running or something like that. So I've mostly more or less just stayed away from it.
I mean, I think that's smart. It seems like for someone like you or someone that's good at No Limit, it makes sense to focus on tournaments and try to get really good at those, just because it seems like that's where everything is going.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. Does that seem as fun to you to focus on tournaments compared to sit and goes?
Dude, sit and goes out were so much more fun. But that's just me personally, Like I played tournaments for a while, and then I moved into sit and goes, and then I'm back into tournaments because they sort of killed sit and goes. But we played a bunch of sit and goes on stream the last 2 days, and it's been super fun. Like, how many did I even play? I think I played like maybe like 40 or something like that. It was just like lots of really soft 200 to 1K hypers running, and I was just flicking them in, and it was just so much fun.
So why are they soft? Because professionals aren't playing those as much anymore, or what's the reason why?
Well, yeah, they kind of got rid of, like, nowadays you basically just have like the punter, like the punters that come in, like the MTT regs and like the cash game regs that just want to like have like a cheeky one table gamble or something on the side. Or they just feel like degenning. Like fucking Amadi came in and played 1K yesterday, you know? Like he played like literally one. And like another high stakes cash reg came in and played like 1 or 2. And then you've got like the recreationals that just like they don't give a shit. They're just like still playing because they like to play a 1K 6 max sit and go. And then you've got like the good regs who like are trying to make like a bunch of money pre-rake back. But like all of like the rake back grinders, like myself and like the other guys that like weren't like the top cream of the crop, those guys are all gone. You know, because like there's no money to be made for them.
I wonder what happened to those guys. Did they go lower stakes? Are they playing tournaments?
Tournaments
mostly. Tournaments.
Mostly tournaments. Yeah.
I gotta say, I never would have imagined saying this, but it does seem like tournaments could be appealing to learn because the players that play tournaments I know are awful. And when I say awful, I mean like just the way they think about poker. If you talk with these players, you can kind of see the way they think about poker is just not very highly or not very good or whatever.
Well, for a long time, like even the good regs are bad, right? Like
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess like, you know, I talk with some players play tournaments who I think have a great poker mind. The way they think about things is very sharp. But for the most part, that's not a common thing I've found from tournaments.
It's a lot different now, right? Like nowadays you have like the Swedish contingent that they all play like their own game and they all fucking absolutely crush, you know? And then you have like the Bit B guys. They have like a pretty fucking big group going on and they do a lot of really good things. They got a bunch of like high stakes good coaches and stuff. And then you have like just like you have BBZ as well, another staking group that crushes. You used to have like a lot of guys that like spend a heap of time in fucking PO, and there's a lot more resources that there were now than there were before, like there was no PO 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Like if there was, like it was something that somebody made and had it personally, it wasn't like this shit for sale that it could just like show you the correct decision. Even like, smaller programs, it was like so much less intuitive. So people didn't study as much. And nowadays people actually study, but in tournaments, you didn't have to study. In tournaments, you could just have like a decent poker mind and you could just play a decent amount. And if you were okay at the game, you could just print. And like, that's the way it like always was for like me before, like when I used to play tournaments and stuff, like I've always been an intuitive person as well. Like I'm not someone who like spends 6 hours on their off day, like breaking down a bunch of ranges and stuff. I'm just like, I'm going to fuck with this guy on this hand because this guy's a fucking dummy and like I'm going to be able to beat him. So I've always been like a lot more intuitive about the game, and like that was enough for like a really long time. But these days it's not enough, like you got to be like a fucking god to be able to do shit intuitively these days, because everybody is just like studying so hard. And there's just so many more programs. I mean, there's Twitch, there's Upswing, there's Run It Once, there's Raise Your Edge, there's like all of these, there's like the masterclass on Upswing for tournaments as well that Pratush did. There's so many fucking things that where like you can just spend $700 and just instantly see into the mind of what someone is and how someone is crushing. Even like 4 years ago when I was playing, 5 years ago when I was playing tournaments, like there was nothing like that, Like I remember when Run It Once first came out, and that was like the only like really legit. I mean, I think like Card Runners, or can't remember what the old ones were, but like they were all like pretty mediocre, I think, in my opinion. Like none of them were ever good. They never really like targeted really well. They never like really built a good brand, had really good pros on it that like knew what they were doing. And like these days, the kind of shit that you get when you sign up to these sites is like, detailed analysis, like breakdown, like ranges, solving programs. You get all of this stuff. Before it was just like somebody talking into a camera being like, I'm doing this because I think this. These days it's like, I'm doing this because this program said this after it ran 17 million simulations. And then I plug this information that I got over here into this other program, and we cross-nash them together. And all of a sudden, we know absolutely that 6-7 suited is a profitable reshove here for 2.437%. Like that's what the fucking game has happened. Like that's what's happened. So yeah, no shit. There's like everybody's better now. And no shit, games are dying. I've just gone off on a tangent here. But
that'll make a good social media. That's gonna make a good social media clip right there. Thank you, Parker, for that. That was awesome. I agree. So wait, so do you feel like now that makes you like, so how does that affect you as someone who is, you know, you feel
Well,
like you're
for me, that's definitely made me worse at the game. And I'm getting back into fucking studying now. Like I studied hypers, don't get me wrong. Six max Indos, like I was probably studied the least out of anyone that played them, but I still studied, you know? Like I would still like mark hands, and then at the end of a session, I would go over them for like an hour or something like that. Like I did that. But I know other guys that played hypers and stuff. Like I know like some of the really good guys that like used to crush me and shit, like that I didn't like to play with. I know those guys would study like 20 hours a week. But like that ain't never been me, you know. Like I've always just been out there, you know, clicking the register button and hoping for the best. But that's not a viable strategy anymore, you know, because everybody's too good at this point. But yeah, for me,
go ahead.
No, just for me, that means I got to get better. You know, like even 2 years ago when I first started streaming, I was like pretty solid. I think I was like crushing the games, and like these days, I still think I'm winning, but I don't think I'm a crusher. Like I don't try to, you know, like establish myself as like, you know, a super high stakes absolute smasher anymore. But we will get back to that point for sure, because I think I have a decent eye for
I think it's also hard to stay at that level when you start doing so much more things. So I mean, when you're playing every day, you know, it's easier to be an intuitive player and study as much, but just be so in the zone and what your strategy is that you can do well. And then when you start working so many other things and you start getting a little bit more out of it, well, of course that's going to struggle. And that's sort of where having that theoretical fundamental background can pay off, is you can take some breaks, but come back and sort of have a good idea of things. But I do think that having a very strong intuitive style, once you do start learning more of what's currently available with studying, I think when you can combine those two things,
it up all so much faster.
Right. It makes you that much more dangerous of a player, because you know how to play different styles. Whereas there are going to be some theoretical players who have no idea how to play by feel or by intuition. And they're going to ultimately not really have a lot of success because they don't know how to merge those two things. So I think it is very beneficial to have a very intuitive style, and you have to just put in some study now, and eventually it'll get you to a point where, it's going to be good for you though.
Definitely just so true when you said, once you start moving into other spaces, you know, as well, like once you start like having to focus on like the stream, and I'm like, okay, shit, we have like 3 new emote slots. What are we going to use those emotes for? You know, like that takes up some time. I have to like discuss with Mac, like what are we going to come up with emotes for? Like, you know, who are we going to hire to make them? Like, what are we going to do about the overlay on Twitch for this shit? Are we going to keep the chat on screen? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? What am I going to plug on stream today? You know, like what's our title going to be? How long am I going to stream for? What tournaments am I going to play? Like everything is like so much more targeted. And the second that you start to like work on other stuff, and it's even start making money in other spaces as well, like that's when like, you know, your poker game especially can like start to take a hit. And I feel like that has happened to me, at least in the last 2 years for sure. Because sometimes I don't even realize that it's been 2 years, you know, and then I get like a 25-month resub in my channel or something, and I've been like, what the fuck, man? Like over 2 years we've been doing this shit. You know, it's crazy how time goes by and stuff, and things change. And
so someone says online poker confirmed dead. And now I want to say, from my standpoint, I certainly don't think online poker is dead. I think that you can still make a bunch of money if you put in the work and put in the effort to do it. It's just harder. Very possible. Yeah.
It's just harder.
Yeah, I think right. More challenging for sure, but very possible still at PLO cash, no limit cash, or tournaments or whatever. I think it's still very possible to do it.
Definitely. I think, I mean, I think like if you're smart enough and you put enough work in, you can fucking make money in really whatever you want. Like if you want to, I told a buddy of mine, he was like losing his job or whatever, or he wasn't losing his job, but his work visa in Canada was running out. And he's like notorious when he doesn't have things to do. He's like notorious for like going off the rails and just like going out and getting drunk all day, every day. Sounds like you a little bit. Yeah, definitely. And he's like pretty notorious for just like, you know, doing some mad shit like it. And I was just like, dude, go home, take some of your hard-earned money, put 30K into crypto, and learn how to trade a little bit. And like he's absolutely smashed it. Like he's made like many X on that initial thing, and he did it, you know. But it's like you can do that with anything. Like anyone in the chat right here can like take the amount of money that they have and go into poker or crypto or whatever the fuck it is, stocks, whatever they want. And if you really want to be successful, you can be successful. It's like anything, you know. Like if you spend 60 hours a week focusing on something and you eat, speak, breathe, live it, then like you'll be good at it. So like to say that something is dead is kind of silly. To say that something is harder is totally reasonable.
Definitely agree with that 100%. You know, I think that with poker, obviously when you lose, it makes you less inclined to want to keep playing sometimes for a lot of people out there. So that's why they don't keep putting in that work, is because sometimes you don't even know what the right work is. Whereas in other areas, if you want to study crypto or something like that, maybe you perceive the work is to learn what crypto is, learn what a coin is, learn what it means to invest something. Whereas at poker, a lot of times you might learn something, but you don't know if it's good to learn or bad to learn. And it might be, it's hard to really know if what
Maybe
you're doing is
developing
right.
bad habits or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's, I mean, that's what makes poker hard in a lot of ways, right? There's a lot of things that do make it hard. And I've never said it's easy. And I don't think you probably ever said poker is easy to do too. It might be easy for us at periods of time to win at poker because we've got it understood and we just put in so much effort. Right. Yeah. And it's just hard to get to that point. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just like you said, like anything, man, if you want to study and you want to learn anything, you can get better at it.
You can crush anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm liking some of the comments today, guys, man. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Digital Fox, David Castillo out there. He always leaves a lot of good comments on 2+2. I appreciate it. You do, your Photoshops are not always the best quality, but they're always the best and well-intended. And I really do enjoy that, my friend. So thank you very much for that. Much love, man. I got a lot of love for people out there in the chat. Tonka, you want to give any shout outs, Tonka? You have a shout out you want to give to somebody?
Oh, Christopher George. What up, brother?
CG in the chat. What's up, CG?
What's up, CG? Dude, CG and I want to play more mixed games.
Give something. Tell people something out there.
What?
Give someone a shout out. Give someone a personalized shout out. Make them feel special.
I was just about to say something about CG. It's not a personalized shout out, but CG and I talked about doing some like mixed game shit on stream sometime because I want to play some more mixed games. I was really enjoying it for a little while, but then like there's not really like I like to play tournaments, and like there isn't like at this point, like I was saying before, like I like singles one tournaments, but at this point I like to play tournaments. Like I like it, and there's not really any like big mixed game tournaments or anything, so it's kind of hard to like incorporate that in without playing a cash game or something. And I'm like pretty bad at mixing. Like if I have like a cash game table of mixed games, then I have like 6 tournaments up. Like I'm not great at doing that kind of shit. But I want to play more mixed games and I want to get a little bit better at them. I want to play them live as well. They're super fucking fun live. And yeah, CG and I planned to do something on stream like a month or 2 ago, and I never got back to him. He never got back to me. We never set anything up. So we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that soon.
That's how it works, man. The collaborations are sometimes. I'm actually doing. I think I'm doing Andrew Nemi. He has a podcast. Him and his girlfriend or wife. I think is it his wife? I think it's his wife, right? Yeah, I think she's his wife. I don't know. They have a really fun podcast they do where they just sort of like talk about really fun things. So I think we're doing that today together. So I don't know.
Oh, nice.
That could be fun.
Double podcast.
But I mean, I think collaborations are very underutilized in the poker world, and I think they're underutilized in most spaces.
Everywhere.
It's just a matter of actually following through and then doing it. So.
I mean, look at some of the YouTube collaborations, man. It's crazy how they just like feed off of each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Like 5 guys collaborating or something like that with like 100K subs each or something along those lines. Like, dude, they can just grow like unfucking believable.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something you don't see in poker very much. And it makes sense. Poker's like, everyone's kind of in their own world and it's sort of an isolated thing. But maybe in the video blogger world, maybe those guys do it more. I don't really know, but
yeah, they definitely do it more.
Yeah,
they definitely
do video bloggers, man. Shout out to the video bloggers out there. I want to have one of them on, a guy that I know named Johnny Vibes, Johnny Morant. I like him a lot. I want to have him on the podcast because he's doing some cool stuff out there. So, but you're not watching any video blogs at all?
What's that?
You're not watching any video blogs, Tonka?
I was watching Casey Neistat's vlogs for a little while, but I don't.
Poker.
Oh no. No, I don't really watch any poker content at all. Like every now and then I'll tune into like, like Spraggy or Finton or Lex, like one of those 3 guys. Really, the only people that I'll ever watch on Twitch, but just because like they're my friends and I want to see them do well, kind of thing,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I don't really care to watch poker content, to be honest with you. I'm not.
So you watch poker cash game content ever? Do you watch any of the high stakes cash games that run?
Yeah. I'll watch a pad cash game every now and then. Something like that. I love high stakes poker.
Me too.
Like good OG high stakes poker, dude. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. Like whenever we do like a live trip or something like that, and we just get like drunk and chilling at the apartment or something like that, we always throw on high stakes poker, like a good old like Sammy Farha episode or something.
Legendary
Like
stuff.
that's the good shit. That's the good shit. But like today's, like even poker cash games today are pretty boring. You know, it's all like, should we have like businessmen or should we have like a bunch of regs? Like, and both are pretty boring to be honest. Because it's just, I don't know, man. It's not as fun as it used to be.
I mean, I feel like it goes back to the personalities, and you know, a lot of those games before we did know we had a good idea about the personality. So Sammy Farha, we saw him play the main event, lose to Chris Moneymaker. We got to hear him talk all the time. We got to see his play style. That mixed together with somebody like
24/7.
Right, like it mixed together with a Patrick, who is this online legend, this like Finnish fucking guy, this Terminator looking motherfucker. You have Tom Dwan, who's obviously psychopath and just always seemed to crush no matter what. Dola Brunson, the legend of poker. David Benjamin, play a lot of high stakes online and sort of this French personality. And I feel like right now, a lot of the people that are playing high stakes cash games, we don't really know, if we're not interested in them, or we just don't really know much about them or their personalities. Even when you have Antonio show up, we don't really know anything about Antonio anymore at all for the most part. We know stuff about Perkins, but Perkins is more of a recreational player, isn't necessarily someone who also has the, that high level kind of poker talent, but he is an interesting person and people are interested in him, but maybe just not as much when it comes to poker because they know for him the money might not even mean that much to him. And the businessmen, we don't really know about them at all. So it's like, you need to have the right mixture of people and someone that we're actually interested in and that we know about combined with these other personalities. And I think that's what we haven't seen that much from the, those higher stakes cash game lineups, is we just haven't seen that mixture of people. And for the most part, we don't really know much about a lot of the high stakes guys because how would we know about them? There's no chance.
Also, I would assume that just in general, these kind of games are running less. Like I feel like back in the day of like high stakes poker, like when it was a big thing, like I feel like these kind of games, like after those games closed down, they probably just like picked up and went and played more somewhere, or like there was another like high stakes game they could go and hop into, something like that. Like these days, it's like way more manufactured, Like these days, it's like high stakes games like don't really run as much except for in like Bobby's room and then like underground games and shit. Like I feel like higher stakes games probably just ran like more out in the open and like there was just more of them back then. So it was like easier to get an exciting cast. Whereas these days it's just like relatively manufactured.
I guess it's also because Poker After Dark is behind the paywall. I think if it was on Twitch and it was on YouTube, like Live at the Bike is, it would be way more popular for sure. I mean, you see when Doug Polk plays on Live at the Bike stream, that's getting 5, 6, 7,000 people watching that. So clearly the interest is still there with the right people. But when it's behind that paywall, it just limits the conversation about it. It limits your ability to, I mean, even if you pay for it, you might just not tune in because no one's talking about it. And it's not, you don't go to Poker Go all the time. So you just won't even know it's running. And that probably is a big hindrance for people to watch lineups.
Dude, yeah, that's like, that just reminds me of like fucking GPL season 1. That was the funniest shit ever, dude. They pumped so much money into so much nonsense, and their main platform for broadcasting was Twitch. And how many fucking Twitch streamers did they have involved in what they were doing?
A lot. Like they had a couple. Wait, no. Didn't they have a couple?
They had Nano Noko and Elky.
Yeah, they had no, actually they didn't. I remember at the time I talked about Jimmy Staples should be involved. Jimmy, my guy Jimmy should be involved in that, but they didn't have him involved in that, which I think that was a massive mistake in retrospect. And I thought it was a mistake at the time. You should have had him involved in that somehow. You should have probably tried to leverage someone with a big audience from streaming.
It was like me, Jamie, and Carver were like the big 3 streamers at the time when we were streaming. And I remember like any of us would stream and we'd get more viewers than the GPL,
Yeah.
And it was just like, dude, like, what are you doing?
I thought they had a couple more streamers, and right, but you're right, they didn't. I'm just kind of thinking
they had who were kind of both glorified streamers, They both like play some scoops and W coops. Like, no disrespect to either of them, they're both my friends. I like both of them, but like, they're not streamers, They both like do some like Twitch shilling during like W coop and scoop. Like that's about it. Like they don't. They don't.
A lot of shields out there, Parker. I gotta say, you probably do the best job, or you do a really good job. I don't know if it's the best. I have to break down everyone's fucking strategy, but you do a great job of still being your fucking self in a lot of ways on social media. And I think a lot of people that end up getting sponsored by Party or 888 or PokerStars, they like stop being themselves and they start being like more of a fucking shill, and they're advertising a $500 tournament or a $200 tournament. And you do a great job of just like still being you too. So I think that's something that a lot of sponsored players completely abandon. Actually, they're really bad at it.
Yeah, it's a fine line, right? Because obviously being a sponsored pro is like there are things that like you can't openly say anymore. You can't like go crazy like trashing something or saying something that you might previously have said. You also have to promote things as well. And like a lot of people don't like promotional posts. Obviously promotional posts work because they fucking work, or else people wouldn't do them. But some people are like, hey, stop shilling,
Man, some of these guys are terrible at it. I mean, like, listen, Vivi, my girl, she is bad at it. Natalie does a lot of it too. Jeff Gross obviously does a fucking ton of it too. There are certain people who, they don't really, the balance is much more shifted towards promotional and shilling. And I get it. But like, I mean, to me, it just seems like that's a very good way to lose the connection with your audience.
Yeah. That's such a bad strategy as well, because you just end up losing like the people that have followed you for you just turn into this shill because you think you have to be or something like that. And you end up losing your actual engagement and your community, so that when you do post a promotional post, all of a sudden there aren't like a bunch of people that like want to be behind you. So they're interested. They're just like, you're a fucking shill now. So like, I don't give a fuck, So yeah, the transition has to be smooth. You have to be able to, keep yourself while still promoting.
Yeah, I mean, I think you do a good job of that for sure. I think Daniel does, obviously, but I think he does a great job of that. I think Samir's kind of, and Tonka, I'm going to give some fucking strategy to people out there. So if someone happens to be listening right now and you're one of these people, this is going to be I never give strategy like this because I like just watch people be fish when it comes to this kind of stuff. But if you go look what Daniel Negreanu does, Daniel Negreanu is promoting PokerStars through just having a popular Twitter. So he'll be himself, but he'll tweet things out there that get engagement and that draw awareness to himself. So he's drawing awareness to himself through being himself, and by association, PokerStars. So what a lot of people out there do not do is they don't figure out ways to draw more awareness to themselves through what they have to say that's actually them. And so they don't do that. And figuring out how to get better at that is going to be something that's very important for you long term, because those are going to be more popular, more engaged with than these promotional posts. And a lot of times they're going to do more for drawing just everything to what you're doing. So if you're out there and you're wondering, why don't my promotional posts, why don't my ads get any engagement? Why don't people give a fuck about me as much anymore? Try putting more thought and energy into what you actually share about yourself as a person, instead of how do I promote the fucking big 22 or the big 220 or this sort of tournament stuff there, here or there. So that would be my brief piece of advice for someone out there if they're in that category, which isn't many people. I know it is what it is, but that's what I got for them, Tonka.
It's reasonable, man. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that D-Negs does like the best job out of any sort of like social media content creator of like not being a sellout,
I mean, even Doug does a good job of that too. He's promoting Upswing and Central through when he makes tweets.
A better job,
right?
Yeah, and I'm envious of them sometimes as well, because sometimes like, just, I don't want to like tweet or post a picture of my life or what I'm doing, like, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes when you go through droughts of not wanting to share everything that you do 24 hours a day. And I realize I don't do that at all, and that I'm over exaggerating pretty hard, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm the same way. I don't post a lot of stuff anyway. I feel like I post a little bit, but I force myself to post a lot of times when I do post. And I've gone through a lot more periods in the past 2 or 3 months where I just sort of don't do anything for a week or two. And yeah, I don't know. It's let me take a couple more questions from the chat. We're gonna wrap it up here, guys. What do you got planned for tonight, Tonka? You got a night out? You going? What are you doing, kid?
No, I've got some work stuff to do. I have a short call to have. I have some stuff around the stream that I need to get sorted out. I have to try to iron out the schedule still and pick the exact days that work for me. I'm going to film some intros and outros for YouTube. I don't know, man. I got like a few things I'm going to do. I need to cook something at some point for dinner.
Tonka, you sound a lot. I mean, I think I saw this before. You sound a lot like me. You're all scattered. You're like, it's sort of like you kind of have 10 to 25 things you want to do, but just like me, man. That's how I am. I'm like, yeah, I want to do that, this, that. It's like, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, well, I'm going to do that, this, that. But it's never, I think me and you
getting,
both
like,
really
2 of
struggle
them
with organization and planning.
You end up getting 2 of them done. So are we doing an edibles pod as well at some point or what?
Oh man, do you want to do an edible pod together? I mean, we can. I don't mind. I think it'd be fun. But
what does that even end up being? Like, do you just end up like sitting here like spacing out talking about random shit?
well, me and Luke Shorts did one too during our
Right.
podcast together, and I don't really remember. I think it was just like I think I was much more hyper aware to not space out and get into that standpoint. But whenever I've tried it, I'm always like fucking. I feel like I'm on another planet for the most part.
I don't think I just said that. I just said that I don't think I would enjoy doing it, to be honest.
We could maybe do a little bit, like a small amount of edibles, not a ton.
Yeah, we could do a small amount.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's legal in Vegas. I can just go on the street and buy shit. So I mean, I don't know.
It's like about to be legal here as well.
That's crazy, man. We just becoming legal everywhere. So let me put this on my Instagram page. You got an Instagram? Plug your Instagram, man. I know you want to do something around.
I mean, everything is tonkaaaaP, man. tonkaaaaP with 4 A's. It's just Twitter, Instagram. I think I'm going to stop plugging Snapchat because I think I might be officially done with Snapchat, even though that's really silly. But I mean, like we were talking about all this time, you know, I can feel it hard enough to pay attention to like updating Instagram stories.
I think that's what it comes down to, Parker, is that like someone like you or myself who are struggling with trying to incorporate so many new things into our life, especially when you're used to playing poker. I'm used to playing poker. Poker's pretty black and white. We sit down, we fucking play poker. Like that's what I've done for years. I know that's what you've done for years.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we need to like our desire to want to get good at things or like things is sort of a bad thing in some ways, because when we're doing so many different things, we're like, well, we know what we could do here. We know we could do really well here. And we still put a little bit of energy into all these different things instead of narrowing it down and narrowing our focus down. So then we end up in spots like this where like what we do well, but we don't do it consistently always because we have 5 or 6 things we want to fucking do. So maybe it just comes down to doing some high level of sacrifice and really sacrificing some things out of your life that you do enjoy for some period of time, just because, like, I don't know, it's just hard, right? I think it's hard to do for me right now. It's one of my hardest things. The
more shit that I do, the more shit that I realize that it's just like, you're always going to be sacrificing something else, you know? So if you're focusing on streaming, your poker game's going to suffer. If you're focusing on poker, your streaming game's going to suffer, you know? If I'm focusing on Instagram stories, you know, my Snapchat's going to suffer. Like, it's just, everything is just one big fucking trade-off, and you just got to decide what's best for you. And I think instead of just like doing and going with what I feel like I have to do, which is what I kind of felt like I did it for a big part of 2017, I think 2018 is going to be a lot better for me because I'm going to try to schedule more. I'm going to try to plan for myself more and just do what works best for me instead of doing
Parker,
something.
I have an idea. I have an idea, buddy. I'm serious. I got an idea. And I feel like we might need our audiences to help hold us accountable to this, but I have an idea. What if me and you have to do something where, I mean, I think every day might be a little bit much, but what if me and you each week, we have to send each other some sort of fucking plan for that week with specific things that we want? Because I'm serious. I feel like me and you literally had this fucking conversation the last time we talked. It was the exact same way. We said the exact same things to each other. It's like, what are you going to do? You're like, 10 things. Like, what are you doing, Joey? I'm like, 10 things. So what if we try to hold each other accountable to actually incorporate this planning into our life? Because I know that's what's helped me out in the past is when I, worked with different guys and we held each other accountable in that situation. So me and you do that with each other, and then our audiences can do that with us and be like, hey, are you like, what's going on? Where the fuck is like this plan, this structure, this organization? And maybe we need to try a different fucking strategy to attack this, because whatever strategy we've been using now, it's obviously had some success, but we could just be more efficient with it. And I think we both know
man.
I
did the first thing I've ever done in my life the other day, and I wrote a to-do list for today.
Oh my God. How did that work out though?
I think I accomplished like 3 of 12.
Yeah, that's so I actually have something in my notebook. You know what? I'm just going to show you, Tonka. You take a question from the chat. I'm going to show you what I have written down.
All right.
Let me find a question in the chat. California sunshine was the best acid going back in the day. I don't know much about that. Yeah, you find one of the questions. Let me grab my notebook real quick.
All right. Someone wanted you to ask me, he's gone now, but about the snus. It's just snus, mate. Swedish snus. Tobacco you put in your gums. Just laughs. Joey just laughs a lot when he's on edibles.
What'd they say?
Someone said he just laughs.
Oh my God, dude. I went at edibles one time in California. I swear to God, I didn't feel like myself. Ashley Denny says, I'll hold you accountable, Parker, with a message every week on Skype to remind you. Someone can do that with me. I will happily allow it. But I have this list right here, Tonka, right here of, can we see this? Let's see. So you can't really tell what's on there, but I have a list of about 25 things that I want to do each day, and I sort of mark it out. And you can tell from my things that I haven't been doing that every day. And but yeah, it's like a to-do list, but man, it's I don't know why I can't make it work sometimes, Parker. I'm not sure what the problem is. I don't know what it is. It's something.
You caught up doing something, and then you don't do the other thing, and then
it's simple stuff, buddy. Make my bed, drink water, eat food, take a shower. It's this simple stuff on the list.
Well,
you know, it is hieroglyphics.
I wasn't putting that kind of simple shit on the list. I was putting things that I really have to do, you know.
Well, I'm trying to start small. I'm trying to start easy, and then I can't even like accomplish these things.
This morning before this pod, right? I woke up at like 10 a.m. I got my fucking ass out of bed at like 11 a.m. And then I cleaned the kitchen that's not true. I came out in my boxers to the fucking computer and I sat down and I got caught up doing something I don't even know. I can't even remember what it was, but I did that for half an hour. I think I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I did, but I did something for half an hour, you know, just like in my boxers, just sat here doing fucking nothing. And then I got up, put some clothes on, cleaned the kitchen, and then I came back here. I made a bulletproof coffee, and I came back here, and I sat around and procrastinated taking a shower for 40 minutes.
Yes.
And then I took the shower, and then we hopped on the pod. That's what the fuck I did, you know? You need to get
up,
you need to fucking shower.
Yeah. I try to think like, what is
don't, Joey?
I don't know. This happens to me all the time, kid. I don't know. It's called white space. It just takes up the day and takes up the time from so many people, and that's why a lot of people they struggle with things. So it's bad, man. It's bad. All right, let me find a fucking question here. Hold on a second. Do you smoke weed when you grind? I don't think you do.
No.
Okay.
I mean, there was a time in the past where like I might have like winding down sessions like at the end, but like never streaming. No way, dude. I'd be such a fucking space cadet if I did that streaming, like trying to focus on like even like speaking, like no way.
Yeah, I've never tried it. I've never really smoked weed much. I guess I would try play poker on it. Maybe it would calm my mind down a little bit and could be helpful.
Dude, that's
but
always say, dude, but that's bullshit. I remember someone arguing like with me in a group chat like 6 years ago or something, that they were like, I just play better poker when I'm stoned. And I was like, no, you fucking do not. They're like, yeah, it just allows me to calm down and really think about it and just play more GTO. And I was like, first of all, you have no fucking idea what GTO is. Second of all, like smoking weed, all it does is make you slow. Like it might calm your nerves and shit, but like the trade-off of that and making you slow and making you forget things and like process things at a much slower pace, there's no fucking way that like. And I mean, listen, there are a few people that like can actually take it that truly need their nerves calmed. But like, I remember like a bunch of poker players were just like, yeah, man, I just play so much better when I'm fucking high, like so much better. And just like, no, you don't. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and I don't understand how it's possible, but people seem to swear by it. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the scientificness behind that is. So maybe I'll find one of these guys who does play high all the time and does that. So. Someone says, do you think Chris Ferguson would ever do the podcast? I actually asked Chris Ferguson, me and Jonah went up to him this summer and asked him about doing the podcast. He said, not now, maybe in a couple of years. I said, cool. Okay. Let's see. There's no question. No good question. Tonka, what do you want to leave the people with? Give the people one piece of poker advice to wrap things up here that they can take on their day today and maybe make them a winning poker player this weekend.
I mean, my best poker advice is always bankroll management. That's like always my like number one thing, you know, it's just like, don't play a fucking $100 buy-in game with, you know, $1,300 in your account. Like, don't do something like, and that's like not even aggressive, you know, like that's not aggressive at all. But I'm saying, you know, don't fucking play a 1K with $2,000 in your account, you know, focus.
Do not play a 1K with 2K in your account. Yes, I think that's really good advice, actually. Yeah.
Which is like bad advice coming from me because I think I've had like under 15K in my Stars account for the last like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 months or something because I haven't been winning. And, you know, like, I think only one time I've had to like deposit, huck some Bitcoin on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sad times, had to get rid of Bitcoin for PokerStars money. Really sad. But yeah, like every now and then, like, so I'll have like 8K in my account and I'll be playing like a 1K 6 max sit and go on like the 1K Super Tuesday, and someone will be like, "Oh my god, he's broke. Last money on the table confirmed." But yeah. That's not
don't do it. Don't do as we do, do as we say.
Do as we say, exactly. Don't do as I do as I say. That's what my mom's been saying.
All right, here's my advice to people this week, and this is actually actionable. You can do, okay? When you're facing a decision where you're thinking about calling or folding, it's better to not make a call when you have incomplete information about someone. So basically my point is that let's say you're facing an aggressive action on the river and you think there's a small percentage of chance you're right, but you don't really have a concrete read. You don't know for sure why you're going to call. You're like, maybe. You sort of have to justify it to yourself. In times like that, always fold. Always fold. Because so many people, myself included, when you make these mistakes there and you think they're close, a lot of times they're not close and they're actually going to be bad. And your ability to properly estimate these decisions is going to vary depending on how good you are at poker. And most of you guys aren't necessarily going to be that good at poker. So anytime you're unsure about a situation, it's often going to be better to err on the side of less variance than higher variance. So that is my advice to you. And the way that you can avoid getting into spots like this on the river is by folding the turn more and folding the flop more and putting yourself in less situations where you need to bluff later streets without a concrete reasoning or understanding of why you're bluffing, what your opponent's tendencies are. Bam, GT. That's what I got for the people out there at Parker right now today. That's it. That's what I got for him.
Love it.
That's what I got for him. That's it. I'm only going to share strategy on poker on Twitter or at the end of my podcast from now on, but I will not share any of this at the beginning. I got to award people that, but I mean, this is just a huge thing, Tonka. It's like, the thing is, we don't think about it though, is that sometimes we make a light turn call without a very good understanding of what we're going to do on the river. And then we end up in a spot where we think we have to bluff, or we think we're at the top of our range and we have to call. And a lot of times we just process that situation incorrectly and we call and the guy's got the nuts and we're like, oh, fuck. But those are big fucking mistakes that we make that are really going to kill our win rate. And when we do that once or twice or three times, the more we do it, we just don't get better at it. We don't even know we're bad at it. And I think that's a big thing that holds people back.
No, I'm totally agreeing.
I know. I'm fired up about that point. I love that point. I actually was talking to my friend Ryan Marks about that. And then I went to the fucking casino and I made a bad river call. And I was like, so mad. I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? I just talked about that. I gave away like 700 or 150 big lines on the river. And I'm like, wow, I am a fucking idiot. This is what holds people back, is these fucking things right here. So I don't know, man. Whatever. Am I playing online still? Yes, I still play Pop Omaha, the great game online. Yes, I do. It's true. It's correct. Tonka, that's parting words to the people. Give them something. Even though I think I asked them, but give them one more thing anyway.
What?
Give the people one more thing. Give them something. Give them something life. Give them something for their life, Tonka, right now.
For life?
Give them something for their life right now.
Buddy, we just talked about how I struggle to take a shower in the morning sometimes, and you want me to give life coaching advice?
You're going to watch. There's a reason. What happens is you know more than what you think you know. So you're thinking about what you're struggling with, and you fail to realize what actually helps you have success at the things that you do. So this is going to be something that I'll show you this.
I don't know. Enjoy what you do.
Enjoy what you do.
And that's a pretty fucking massive staple in, like, you know, being successful. Like, there's definitely successful people out there who are miserable with what they do, but like at some point at least they enjoyed the shit out of it, you know, and like they loved it. So like if you're working a miserable job right now and you're not happy, then like maybe it's time for a change. Like that's some heavy shit, but that's not what I'm saying. Like you do what you got to do, you know, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to, like, at the end of the day be truly successful and like truly accomplish some shit, then like you have to like at least enjoy what you do on the way to the top.
I love that. That's really good stuff right there. It's very good stuff. That actually, it actually enlightens me a little bit too with that, because I think the thing that I do that I enjoy the most, which is my podcast and talking to other people, I should be doing more of. So that's good for me. Very relevant for me right there.
There you go. Giving you advice, not even the chat.
Thank you, my friend. I need it. Whether it's advice that we know or we don't know, it's always good to hear it again and hear it again and hear it even again, because it helps affirm the positive things we know. I mean, we get so jumbled up with positive things, with negative things, that it's going to be good for us to hear positive things as much as we can.
Definitely.
So,
Like,
yeah, guys, that's it. I'll be back more podcasts next week. I know we have the U.S. Poker Open coming up, and I'm gonna have on my young friend Sam Simmons, who works at Poker Central. He's one of the guys who makes a lot of decisions, and I think Sam's a very interesting guy that I think people will enjoy getting to know more about. So we're gonna talk with him more about Poker Go and what's up with Poker Central for this year coming up. I'm probably gonna play the Pop Limit Omaha event on February 2nd. Or the 1st or 2nd, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to win that. And then follow Tonka. He's going to be streaming coming up, more consistent stream schedule. You can follow him on Twitter, follow him on Instagram, follow him on YouTube, tonkaaaaAP. Make sure you guys like this video right now, because for some reason this helps. I don't know why. If you like a fucking video, it helps. But make sure
it does.
Like
it helps a lot, actually. So if you can take the second to click the like button, that would be wonderful. Also, then just go over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/teamneverlucky, and just individually go through and like every single one of those videos, you know?
Well, and you want to comment on Parker's videos and say, I really fucking love this video, Tonka. You're the man. You've got such a kind heart. Yeah. You're so entertaining. You've got the biggest fucking baby arm in your, I mean, you're just a man. Dude. We love you.
Brother, you should see some of the comments on my YouTube videos. Oh my goodness.
I actually learned something the other night, Tonka. I'm going to leave people with this. So we and my friend Ryan were hanging out in a hotel room with a couple porn stars, and they're friends with Ryan. Their names, if you guys want to go watch them get Gang Bang by Black Dukes, their names are Carly Gray, or no, what's her name? Carly Gray and Abdella Danger. And then this one girl named Aiden Ashley. And then there was a gay porn star there, though. Okay. His name was Liam. And I don't know, he was the funniest fucking kid ever, but he's a gay porn star. And then a guy named Cheetah came in the room, Tonka. Okay. A guy named Cheetah comes in the room. Cheetah asks my friend Ryan, he says, are you on-screen talent? And then he says, well, show me how big your dick is on your arm. So he puts out his arm. He's like, well, show me how big your dick is on your arm. So now one of my new favorite things to ask people is, show me how big your dick is on your arm. And I put my arm out like this. I go, just show me how big your dick is on the arm. So that's something. And I'm being incredibly PG with this story, but that is a little bit of behind the scenes of what I got into the other night. So that's what I want to leave people with. If you're curious about your friend's dick size, just ask them to show it on your arm. That's it. Right?
But then how can you know that they're being truthful? Because surely they're still going to lie.
That's not the point. We don't care if I don't care. You can tell me you got whatever. You can tell me go up to the elbow. I don't care if you're lying to me or not. I go right
up to the shoulder.
Fuck, dude.
It's really uncomfortable, you know?
That's huge. Are you serious? My God.
Yeah, but as we discussed on the stream recently, it lets you pee quicker, right? Because your dick is lower into the bowl. So
yeah, I mean that makes sense, but goddamn, the fucking arm, holy shit.
It's long, yeah. And that's not erect. My goodness.
I'm never gonna be able to look at you the same. Guys, we gotta leave it on that, man, my friends. We gotta leave it on that. Yeah, we gotta leave it.
Thank you for having me on.
Much love, everybody out there. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for all the people that liked the video. And that's it, man. Tonka, as always, great talking with you, my friend.
You too, brother.
All right. Peace out, everybody. See you guys later. Be back next week.